There's definitely a coffee culture in terms of people go out for coffee, but it's not unfortunately based around quality. And it's not necessarily a lack of desire, it's just they haven't had the opportunity to have properly made espresso and various espresso-based drinks, let alone quality filter coffees. A couple of monopolies that exist and have existed for decades that control the whole market. Setup is around very average quality coffee, not empowering their clients to understand how coffee is made, nor how they can, taste it, speak about it, and so forth.
And the French sometimes love to live in the French bubble. They think French, they love the French culture, they love to think that we know everything about anything about food and drinks, of course. The only problem is coffee. Still a really, really bad coffee all over the best tables. Yeah. And we are here to change that. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
A voice called from the heavens above told me to keep a cool head and spread nothing but love. But then I found out that comes second to some. Now I'm waiting and just embracing all that's left for just one reason to keep believing when I'm done and dusted, or I'm sitting sideways slurring something. I kept going and not just for a moment in life, but every minute I was in it to enjoy the ride. Knock me down and I will get back up. A death wish I never needed, cause I treat it as such. Just bad luck or bad moves on the path we tread. Think on your feet as it flies right past your head. I keep one eye on the past and the other looking forward.
Well, first of all, let me precise that we're not a couple. Everyone seems to think that we are, but we do spend more time together than we do with our respective partners. Second of all, we met via a espresso machine, a sort of portable espresso machine called the Bucky. I was quite fascinated with the machine, and when I was distributing coffee a couple of years back, sort of testing the market out, I contacted the Italian manufacturer. They put me in touch with Antoine, who was the local distributor in France. He had just arrived back from Melbourne after roasting and being immersed in the coffee scene.
I was going in Australia for 1 year, and basically I fell in love with coffee. But what I discovered in Melbourne, that's the real coffee culture, the real one. I discovered that the things don't have to be bitter, undrinkable, like in France, for example. And basically I never tasted proper coffee.
Throughout university and even high school, as every second Australian, I was in the hospitality industry to earn ends meet and pay rent and all that. I was definitely a coffee snob and knew what I liked and went to what I considered the best places in each city I was to get their coffee. And when moving to Paris, I was in complete dire straits for a year. I went through every street and suburb and every page on the internet to look for a decent coffee and was really struggling across that whole year. And at that point I thought, well, it's kind of logical to think about bringing a high quality coffee culture to Paris of all places. It was completely mind-blowing that it hadn't already been done.
Well, it's one of the reasons when I was in Australia, for example, I felt very French. I always thought about coming back and bringing the flame to the French. And they have the capacity. They have some good palettes. On wine, they could make some amazing things. On any kind of food, they could go very, very far. They need now to be oriented a little bit more onto coffee.
We met at my office. I was up in the 20th arrondissement in the middle of nowhere, running a little distribution network. And we got along very well. We started talking about our mutual plans, and that's when Antoine and myself started speaking about collaborating. Him with his roasting experience, his coffee knowledge, and his contacts across Europe and back in Melbourne and across the world. Me with my knowledge of the Parisian market, with my little network of clients already buying coffee from me, and also I guess my passion about it. And that's when we decided to team up officially and create our own roastery and brand and coffee shop.
So hop on and take a ride on this trip with me. It's not the start or the end, but the journey we seek. So ride on. So ride on. So hop on and take a ride on this trip with me. It's not the start or the end, but the journey we seek. So ride on. So ride on. Some lines with ink scribbles on a new blank page. Just getting here was a test, so was yesterday. Start at 8, we on the B, then I cruise on the sea. I glide by urban night, while you usually see. I want the whole damn alphabet, and after that I want the numbers in the hundreds, and we'll see what's left. I got a half-filled book with some stories to tell, and the chapters are rounding up. Some damn piece is essential.
And all my friends saw me as a filmmaker, and suddenly I came back as a coffee roaster. What's going on? But he went to Australia for a movie, and he came back speaking about coffee all the time. When we opened Coutume the first time, we did a temporary pop-up cafe at the front. Just a mini cafe with a FB80 Marzocco red, and we start to pull some shots with different coffee from different coffee roasters. We start to speak with the neighbors and had some great feedbacks, and some people very scared about what we were doing, because we are kind of inside of a very classic area here.
We knew that the only way to do something on a large scale was to have a roastery integrated into a cafe to really do the whole communication and education. We would never get it up to a point where we would actually have an impact if we just roasted in the suburbs and distributed to a couple of cafes inside of Paris. And at the same token, we would never really have, I guess, a reputation of coffee specialists if we didn't roast our own coffee. So we thought, let's get a shop. That seems to be the simplest of the options, and roast internally, do different extraction methods, and propose all of our different single origins and blends, and get restaurateurs and hotel food and beverage directors to come by and to do tastings with us. And that's what Coutume is. It's an active cafe, and we do a little bit of food on the side. We do coffee tastings, we do seminars, we do events, and it's really a space that we do many different activities through. And I guess that's probably the force of the community that we've developed. We've kept everything kind of dynamic and moving along.
So when we did the first opening in March 2011, the people were a little bit surprised about the design. They thought that we needed to finish the painting. And I was answering, yeah, we finished the paint with some coffee. We painted the walls actually with coffee. The stain is made from Guatemala, Santa Ana, La Huerta.
We actually had to create the title of a barista with the employment services. We needed to do that in order to get our first barista across from the United States, Kevin. The visa services wouldn't allow us to bring him across without showing why we needed him, and there's now officially a post as a barista in the employment services of France.
The cold extraction, for them it's very experimental. It's a kind of new things that they could discover, and aromatically it's really, really exciting. It's another way of tasting coffee. It's a real iced coffee and slow drip. Because we start to have some people addicted to it, who ask when we are closing, to fill up some bottles for the next day. We have one guy who is coming every morning for a big glass of cold extraction.
I got that. Getting here was a test, so it was yesterday. Start at 8, we run the beat, then I cruise on the sea. I glide by urban eye, well you usually see. I want the whole damn alphabet, and after that I want the numbers in the hundreds, and we'll see what's left. I got a half-filled book with some stories to tell, and the chapters are writing up. Some are boring as hell, but I know that every damn piece is essential. Like the people that I meet help me reach my potential. Stop, think for a second, are you moving too fast? And slow down for a minute, or your time will pass. We got.
So I think that we've had the fortune of being here at the right time and hopefully doing a couple of the right things to get that awareness. And we want to continue developing and building the brand and building our offering and expertise and taking it throughout different parts of Paris eventually. France, and then if everything works, maybe a couple of international markets.
Oh, yes, there is few good coffee shops in Paris. The first who come in my mind, who is not too far, it's Telescope. Beautifully made, all about the process and the quality and really close experience. The first one, the Pioneer, who opened the first place in Paris, which is La Caféothèque, based in near Hôtel de Ville. Very much more laid back, different atmosphere, totally different. Kookaburra, a place with a lot of Australians, over there. Yeah. We have a lot of Australians as well, and New Zealanders coming over. But the concept is pushed to Australian design. So we excite a little bit the competitor, which is good.
Yeah, it's good.
We need competition.
Yeah.
We need more.
I often say that the human palate for me is fairly international and universal, We all experience bitterness and imbalance. No matter what we're used to drinking, we know when something is balanced and fruity and sweet, or alternatively when something's burnt and rubbery and tobacco and burnt meat like, which I can describe many of the espressos around Paris like. As I say, the coffee culture is definitely there. There's a wine culture which is more based around quality, and the whole gastronomical culture which helps us remarkably. All we need to do is now go and educate and communicate, get people to taste what real coffee should be like, and it takes care of itself. Because
it's not just about the coffee experience. It starts to be great and they start to understand that, but it's as well to have a friendly place, which in Paris is difficult to find. And this kind of concept become a standard. This is the idea. If we alone, we can't change the full French market. It's impossible. We need many more specialty coffee places and shops all over Paris. And the people will start to think about it more and more. It's kind of a country. Yeah.
Agiter légèrement pour l'approcher on fait toujours deux échantillonnages au cas où il y a un lot qui n'est pas représentatif.
Journey